Child, did I press record? Woo! I couldn't remember if I pressed record or not. You have imposter syndrome. The worst thing that can happen is I have to pack up and come back to England. And this is why you have to be careful what you pray for. When Nisha has plans, I have plans. And I'm not about to sit over here and talk about myself in third person like I'm a narcissist. Hello, beautiful people. Finally, we have some answers. Honestly, it's been a couple days. Had the meeting on Wednesday. It's Saturday. I needed to process, and I'm still processing, but I'm getting to the point where I can, in a sense, talk about it. So, what was offered was a part-time position for me to go back to Bermuda and work, which is amazing because I really do want to work with this company. I want to work with individuals who are employed there. I think it'll be amazing. I think it'll be challenging. It'll definitely pull me out of my comfort zone. It's around kids as well, so I'm kind of just like, I'm not too into kids like that. But it's so amazing because another position that I interviewed for was also around, I'd be doing counseling with adolescents. But everything in my spirit was like, you do not need to take that job. So I declined it even before I knew the answer for this one. The reason why I needed to process is because I am a planner. I just like to know the details of things. And sometimes I'm a pain in my own butt with like the way that I am. But God has been showing me so much. He's really been showing me that I like to have control. Now, there are some things I relinquish control over, but there are some things that I like to have control about. Like, I like to have control and know that I have money in the bank, that if anything were to happen, I'm gonna be okay. Like, and I know that stems from things in my past, so we ain't about to have a whole therapy session on camera, but God has really been putting me in a place where he wants me to not only say, oh, God is my source, everything else is a resource, but he wants me to live that. He wants me to believe that with my core. And I really think that's what he's doing with me in that process, because this doesn't look like what I want it to look like. I very much so said, and this is why you have to be careful what you pray for. You have to be careful what you pray for. Because I told God, I said, Lord, if you want me in Bermuda, I need, making it about me, I need a place to stay and I need a full-time job. Actually, at first I didn't say I need a full-time job. I checked, I watched my video journals. I said I need a place to stay and I need a job. When I find out that it's not a full-time job like I would like for it to be, because with a full-time job, I know how much I'm getting paid. I can make my budgets. I'm a budget girl. I can allocate funds. I know how much money I can save and send back to the UK because I want to buy a house in a couple of years. Like, when Nisha has plans, I have plans. And I'm not about to sit over here and talk about myself in third person like I'm a narcissist. But all I thought of was Derek Jackson just now, and I am not about to be doing that. But I have plans, and in order to buy a house, in order to have my savings, emergency fund, you need money. So I had I did a mock budget to see if me moving back to Bermuda is feasible, because y'all, Bermuda is expensive. Bermuda is highway robbery. Okay? Bermuda is highway robbery. So it took me a while to kind of kill my own dream. It took me a couple of days to really just seek God and try to figure out what it is that he is doing with me, because that's one thing about God. We're going to go through this life, but he is going to always be working to sanctify us. He's always going to be working to allow him to be glorified through our situations and through our circumstances. And since I lost my job in February, my prayer to God has been, okay, you have to lead me. I don't want to be anywhere else but God's will. I don't want to be in a relationship that was not sent from God. I don't want to be in a job that was not sent from God. I don't want to be in an apartment that was not sent from God. I do not want to be where God does not want me. And when I look at what I have, meaning the offers that I have 2 part-time jobs that both want me. And I also have 2 places to stay as an option. Last night, talking to my best friend, and guys, I just want to say, having spiritual friends, having friends who are going to ground you and not just look at things from a natural perspective, but a supernatural perspective, it's so important. Like, having that community is so important because, like, I get to bounce ideas off of my best friend and just had to realize, like, God's also trying to teach me something about money. Teach me about my dependency on money, because here's all the I's gonna come out. I now have my master's. I want a full-time job. I want to be able to move into my own apartment, which is quite reasonable. I'm 30 years old. I'm ready. I want to be able to save this much. I want to be able to buy a house. You know, like, I want to be able to launch Shea Essence and do an XYZ way. Like, there's a lot of I in there. And sometimes when we have things so concretely planned, we don't allow room for God to move and to weave. And I saw this thing on Instagram where a pastor had asked a congregation who came to church on E, and a couple people raised their hand. Long story short, he gave one girl a $100 bill, and she went and took her seat. And he gave another girl a $5 bill, and she started to go sit down, but he brought her back and gave her another $5 bill, and another, and another, and another. But before he gave her any money, he did say, I'm a bad storyteller, just to let you know, I do mix up stories, so bear with me. Thank you. He did say to her, hey, I gave her $100, but I'm gonna give you $5. And the moral of it was, he ended up giving her $100 as well, but he gave it to her in increments. He gave it to her slowly. He didn't give it to her all at once, like he did with the other lady. And it's like, sometimes God does that to us. For one person, yes, they might be able to, he gives them that full-time job and they can, because that's not their journey. But for me, my lesson can possibly be around money and a steward of my money and understanding where the ultimate source of my money comes from. Not my own abilities, not my little degrees, not anything else, but it's completely from God. I've been so wrapped up in me and how I want it to be. I even wrapped it up to be like, okay, God, if this is a job you want me to take, I need, there's that I word again. I need you to confirm it to me, right? Knowing deep down inside in my spirit, I have kind of already been confirmed. Like, I asked for a job and I asked for a place to stay, and he's giving me double in both. Like, Lanisha, what more do you need? We're talking about us helping the third person. Sis, what more do you need? Really? So, what I asked for, one thing I'm going to ask the question, honey. I asked for peace, because God is the person who gives the peace that passes all understanding. And I'm very excited to go back to Bermuda, because I'd be around my family, I'd be around my friends, and finding a church community. And my best friend and I want to start a podcast. Like, there's a lot of things. I can do Shea Essence as well, but I didn't want my excitement to be the factor that makes my decision if that's not where God wants me to be. But then my best friend made an amazing point, and she talks about how don't discredit my excitement, because honestly, if you would have caught me in November or October before I went to Bermuda to visit my family for the Christmas holiday, if someone was to ask me, hey, are you planning to go back home? I would have said no, absolutely not. I don't want to go back to Bermuda. And even more, my excitement is an indication that I believe that that's where God wants me to be, just because I even have it. Like, there's been a change of heart. Like, guys, I haven't been in Bermuda since, I think I said this already, but like lived in Bermuda with the intention to stay since I was like, I left Bermuda at 15 for boarding school. I went back to Bermuda for 2 years with the intention of moving to England, but never with the intention of like, oh, let's stay and pick up roots. I'm still not going back with the intention of like the whole roots thing. But definitely, I'm not even putting a timeline on it actually. I think I've learned at this point, I'm just gonna let God lead me. In the natural, it sounds crazy to just be like, do it, because the only thing that's promised to me for one of the jobs is 3 months of work. And it's like, am I really going to pack up everything for a 3-month contract? But then what if my 3 months is my first portion of my $5? And then I just have to wait and trust God for the next portion. I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. And one thing I do know is that if I do this with God, he's not going to forsake me. He's not going to leave me. The worst thing that can happen is I have to pack up and come back to England. But that's fine, because my wonderful bedroom is still going to be waiting for me. Actually, my bed won't be here. My dad said I have to get rid of my bed. But I will have a place to stay. So that is the update. Guys, thank you for waiting with me. Thank you for watching. I don't know when I'm going to release all of this, but I am going to be obedient and record this journey. Might be one person who watches it, but you know what? I think my goal with this whole YouTube stuff is to just inspire, show people that strong people have worries too. And I only say that because many times I do get asked, like, when's the last time you doubted yourself? Or you're a go-getter, anything you put your mind to, you do. But people don't see the bits where like you second guess yourself, where you retreat for a couple of days, where you have imposter syndrome. So I just want to be authentically me. Although this whole YouTube and putting myself out there thing scares the heck out of me, it's for somebody. And if I can make one person smile, if I can introduce one person to Jesus, if I can encourage one person to start their business or to do what scares them and do it anyway, then I've done something. And I think that's what matters. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my channel. It feels so weird to say that, but honestly, thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned, because I think I'm officially going to Bermuda in less than 2 weeks. Oh.